Let's talk about something I think a lot of us deal with. Have you ever had that feeling that your drive to be perfect isn't actually helping you, but is maybe, just maybe, holding you back? Today, we're diving into perfectionism. And we're not going to talk about it like it's some kind of superpower for high achievers. Nope. We're going to look at it for what it often is, a surprisingly draining force. Let's get into it.
So, let's start with a quick gut check, just for you. First question. Are you driven by an intense, and I mean intense, fear of failure? Does the idea of messing something up, even a little bit, fill you with this sinking feeling of dread?
Okay, how about this one? What are your standards like? Are they, if you're being really honest, kinda impossible? Like way, way higher than you would ever dream of holding anyone else to?
And last one, criticism. How do you handle it? Does even the most well-meaning feedback feel like a personal attack? If you're nodding along, even a tiny bit to any of these, well then you're in exactly the right place.
That feeling we just tapped into, it has a name, of course. But to really get our arms around this thing, we've got to first define what perfectionism really is, and maybe even more importantly, what it isn't.
So here's the official definition from the American Psychological Association. But I really want you to focus on that last part. In excess of what is required by the situation. See, that's the key. That's the whole problem right there. This isn't just about having high standards or wanting to do good work. It's about when those standards get so impossibly high, they're totally disconnected from reality.
And that leads us to this really crucial distinction. On one side, you've got healthy striving. This is when you're driven from the inside. You just have a genuine desire to learn and grow. But on the other side, you've got what's called maladaptive perfectionism. And that is completely driven by fear. The first one, it fuels you. The second one, though, it completely drains you, because it ties your entire sense of who you are to your last win or loss.
So the big question is, why? Why do we get caught up in chasing perfect? I mean, this isn't something we're born with, right? It's a pattern that we learn. And for so many of us, the roots of this thing go way, way back.
For a lot of people, it starts when love and approval feel, well, conditional. Like they're tied to how well you perform. Get an A, you get praised. Stumble, and you feel that approval pull back. So what do? We internalize this belief. My worth is based on what I accomplish. And from there, perfectionism isn't a choice anymore. It becomes a protective strategy, a way to make sure we're always earning that approval.
And listen, this internal pressure doesn't just exist in a bubble. It gets cranked up to 11 by our culture. You know what I'm talking about? The endless, perfectly curated highlight reels on social media, this worship of the hustle. The message, whether it's spoken or not, is crystal clear. Your value is measured by your accomplishments.
But here's the thing. This relentless chase for perfect, it has a really dark side. It comes at an incredibly high price, and the hidden costs can ripple out and affect every single part of our lives.
I mean, just look at this list. The consequences are so serious. Burnout, anxiety, depression, strained relationships, even less creativity. But do you see the massive irony here? Look at the last two, procrastination and imposter syndrome. The very thing we think is going to guarantee our success actually becomes the biggest roadblock standing in our way. It's wild.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, we know where it comes from. How in the world do we break free? Well, the answer isn't to just stop being a perfectionist or to try harder. The real turning point, the real solution, comes from a totally different mindset.
Okay, so the research on this is incredibly clear. Living an authentic life, where your actions actually line up with your true core values, is one of the strongest predictors of well-being and happiness. That's the goal, right? To stop performing for some invisible audience and to just start living for ourselves.
So that brings up the most important question of all. If authenticity is the goal, then what's the key? What's the single biggest psychological tool we have in our toolbox to help us get there?
The research points again and again to one incredibly powerful answer: self-compassion. It's that simple and that profound. It just means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend when they mess up. It's the ultimate antidote to that harsh inner critic, and it's what creates the safety you need to finally be yourself.
Oh, I love this quote from researcher Brené Brown because it just reframes the whole issue perfectly. Perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's not about growth. It's a shield. It's this heavy, clunky thing we carry around to protect ourselves from feeling shame and judgment. And self-compassion, that's what gives us the courage to finally put that shield down.
So how do we actually do this? How do we put this into practice in our real, messy lives? Let's talk about the practical, real-world steps you can take to start embracing good enough and finding some freedom from that perfectionism trap.
You've probably heard this saying before, often credited to Churchill: perfection is the enemy of progress. And man, is it true! Think about it. If you wait around for the perfect moment, the flawless idea, the perfect plan, you might never even start. The real goal isn't to be perfect, it's just to move forward.
So here it is. This is your path forward. And do you notice the theme running through all of these? It's all about shifting your focus away from what other people think and back to what you truly value. It's about learning to talk back to that inner critic, setting your own definition of success, and understanding that a mistake isn't a catastrophe, it's just information. That's how you build a life that's actually rooted in compassion for yourself.
And so, I'll leave you with this. A simple but I think really powerful question to carry with you. Just for today, what is one thing, just one tiny thing, that you can allow to be simply good enough?